So what I find interesting is a lot of this information that has to do with the Bible, right? But I read the Epic of Gilgamesh as well. It's the Epic of Creation, which is the Sumerian version of the Akkadian history, but it has to do with the Anunnaki and their version of kingship, which is I forget the name, but it's like Pharaoh, or it's like in the Atlantean time it was Minos. So it's a name just like those names, but it means the king. And anyway, in the Epic of Gilgamesh, to kind of roll through it point by point, he was 2/3 God and 1/3 man, and he was a tyrant in his day. He ruled a kingdom, and he was so bad that he would demand to have a man's wife on their wedding night before the husband could even have her. So he was so powerful that nobody could best him. So there was some breakout amongst the little g gods, that would be the Anunnaki, that he had to be stopped basically. So they created a being that would best him, and his name was Enkidu. And Enkidu didn't grow up in the city or even a town. He grew up in the wilderness, and he was friends with animals, and he was pure-hearted, and he ended up besting Gilgamesh, not by defeating him physically, but they became good friends, and they had major exploits together, including the alleged creation of the Euphrates and Tigris rivers, which are supposed to be the tears of this goddess that they destroyed. And they also destroyed the creature that guarded the cedars of Lebanon, I believe it was, and there's this wooden door to this day that they made from the cedars that they took, which was defiant to the whole system of the gods. And in this last video I was looking at, that our sister Nene posted, talked about shaking the gates, and that the gatekeepers were concerned. Well, in the Epic of Gilgamesh, after Enkidu dies, he's pretty much torn apart because he doesn't have his best friend, but Enkidu's nature was enough to help Gilgamesh see humanity in a new way, right? So he ended up changing his ways. So he was bested spiritually, not, physically. Anyway, the whole point is he goes and he meets these gatekeepers that are protecting apparently a tunnel that leads to another land, and says he has to walk the tunnel 12 double hours, and somehow he gains passage to go through this mountain or whatever it is. He comes out the other side of 12 double hours, so that's a full day's walk, if that's what it actually means. And he finds people in this other place, and they automatically realize that he doesn't belong there because his clothes are out of place. So he meets a man who I believe is Noah, even though he has a different name in the epic. A man who was granted eternal life, and so Gilgamesh asked him, "How can I live forever?" And the man told him to stay awake for a week or something like that. And he wasn't able to, and there was, he had some moldy bread to prove to him that he didn't, in fact, stay awake for a week, and so he felt like he couldn't live forever. But then the old man told him that there was a plant in the sea that could help elongate his life, and so he went and got the plant, pretty cleverly too. He tied a stone to his feet, right? Dropped down right to the bottom quickly, cut the rope. After he grabbed the plant, obviously, he cut the rope and he went right back up. So it was pretty clever. He got the plant, and then I think he was attacked by a creature or something and lost the plant. But he was going to give it to the elders of the village, so he had good intentions. And this is, another sign that his heart had changed, and he's seen the goodness of humanity and the importance of doing what's right, you know. Because, yeah, we can all do whatever we want, but all it does is damage and destroy it when we, act recklessly. So I just thought that was interesting because it's not, like I said, a Bible account, but yet there it is, right? And I've experienced several points of that story, the Epic of Gilgamesh, in my rise here. So, as well as biblical accounts, and people are captive in the system that is meant to control them right now. But it's worse than that. That's just the very surface. I mean, there's stuff underground, literally underground. Stuff in hidden rooms and private, like abandoned buildings, and we've heard about missing children and stuff. Well, people want to know what I want. I just want this to be finished. I want the work to be done. I want this nonsense to stop. And so I'll finish when it's finished. Blessings, guys.